Hello, is that McLaren Spare Parts? Yep. So I just finished driving my McLaren, right? And I've got this sim rig at home, and I just love the steering wheel. Can I get this for my sim rig? Oh, I can go to Fanatec.com, and it's only 350 Australian dollars. What do you mean that the US and Euro price will come up on the screen now? I'm on the phone. I can't. I'm not FaceTiming you. And you can put in the code Jason Storm for 0% off. That's a great deal. 0%. That's better than a kick in the pants. Now, truth be told, I don't have a code. I'm not sponsored. No one gives me stuff for free. Fanatec don't even know I exist. But hey, if you want to email their support and go onto their page and complain that the Jason Storm code for 0% off store-wide is not working, I mean, that would be fun. Just flood their emails. Like, I can just see them in the office going 999 Jason Storm code. Maybe it's just my mind. Anyway, you're not here for that. You're here for this. Clubsport adapter, right? It's a quick release. Goes on the back steering wheels. It's black, apparently. The outside is, at least. All the later versions of the steering wheels will use this, the QR1, the QR Lite, or the new QR2, which will be coming at a later date that is yet to be decided. So, one of the wheels that do use this is the new Fanatec McLaren GT3 wheel. This is the V2. That I have bought and I have here today. I have not unboxed this yet. So let's quickly unbox it, see what we get in the box here. Right, we've got a sticker. We've got a manual. So there's a Fanatec sticker. Also, a lot of little stickers that have ABS and TCM PIT and brake plus, brake minus. So you can put these on all the different buttons to help you know what each button does. We've also got another bunch of Fanatec stickers here. And is this a quick start guide? It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Yes, it does. A quick guide. It's not a quick start guide, just a quick guide. Yep, I read that quickly. Now, what else we get in the box is some button caps. I like these button caps. I like them better than the little stickers you put on underneath the buttons or on the buttons. I use this on my Formula, like the F1 Esports wheel I've got behind me here. And the wheel. I'll put that aside for a moment because it looks like we've got something else. I've got an Allen key and some bolts and some washers. The wheel. Right, here we have the McLaren wheel, the V2 McLaren wheel, Xbox compatible. Got a little Xbox symbol there. This is one of the cheapest wheels you can get from Fanatec, so don't expect necessarily expensive build quality like some of the other. In fact, I think even my F1 Esports wheel over there is probably better build quality than this. This is mostly plastic. It looks like carbon fiber, but it isn't. It's just plastic. That's why this is a effectively a CSL wheel, so it's the entry-level wheel, but just because it's an entry-level wheel does not mean it lacks features. Well, it does lack features, but it doesn't lack all features. For example, look at these magnetic paddle shifters that you can actually do one-handed if you wanted to, down, up, instead of just down and up. And we've got the clutch paddles as well. Now, to get clutch paddles, you normally have to spend 300 Australian dollars just on the podium paddle module, which is practically the price of this entire wheel, nearly. So as I said, great value for money here with magnetic paddle shifters and clutch paddles. And we've got little dials here, uppies and downies. Probably use those for my pit. And just other random buttons. And then down here we have a funky switch that not only goes up, down, around, in, you can use it as a rotary encoder as well. But that's about where the features end on this wheel. Another good thing about this wheel, in my opinion, is other than it being light because it is made of plastic, this has rubberized grips on the side. A lot of Fanatec wheels have the Alcantara. Alcantara wears pretty quickly. Even if you do use gloves and it gets a bit mucky, this will not, hopefully. I haven't heard anything bad from most people about it. In my opinion, looks good. OLED display, unlike some of the older wheels. For example, actually I'll pull it off my... Here is my daily driver wheel. This is the F1 Esports wheel. I pretty much mostly drive Formula style and GT3s, which this does mostly work for. As you can see with the Alcantara, it does kind of get a bit manky. I've been using this for a few years now. I, most of the time, always use gloves with it. This has been quite a good wheel for me, but I do probably want to upgrade from this. Not saying I'm going to upgrade to this as my daily, although it may be my daily. I'll probably use this a bit more, but I'm probably going to buy a few more wheels now instead of just this. But as you can see, this is a Clubsport wheel, not a CSL like the McLaren. And even this Clubsport wheel only has your regular paddles, not the magnetics of the McLaren. No paddles for the clutch, despite the fact formulas do use that, like Formula 1. No OLED display, no little encoders, well, other than this one over here with the funky switch. The one benefit of this over the McLaren that we do have is the fact of a rev gauge here, which if you're on a CSL Elite or something like what I am currently, I do have a CSL DD coming. The CSL DD doesn't have the rev gauge on the base, but the CSL Elite does. So with a CSL, you probably don't necessarily need that. With the Elite, CSL DD, it would help. I personally have a phone on top of my CSL Elite, which does give me a display and a rev gauge and everything, so not a big deal. But if I'm being honest, I would have liked a little rev gauge or something up there. That would have been good, especially being a CSL product, and the CSL DD doesn't have it anymore. So yeah, would have been good. Unfortunately, we don't have it. At first up, we need to put the quick release on. Oh, those button caps come off so much easier than my other wheel. But yet, I tried to take off one of these. I can't take them off. They're actually really difficult to come off on this wheel. Now, I should mention as well, with this wheel, normally this does come with QR1 light, which is a plastic quick release at the back that screws on. When I ordered this, they didn't have it in stock, the plastic quick release, and I'm an impatient person and I just wanted to get it, and so I ordered the metal one. Some people say the plastic is actually a little bit better than the metal Clubsport one because it has actually a little bit less play on the shaft of the wheelbase. However, if you do have a DD1, DD2, something with a bit of torque in it, you'll definitely want the Clubsport, because the plastic QR1 light, it will effectively use low torque mode until you put this on there. As you can see, the plastic quick release, there's a little, I guess you could say, shaft that goes in that hole there, and that lets the wheelbase know that you're on a CSL or something of low torque. And then I'll show you this one, silica gel. It says do not eat. No little metal prong that'll go into there, so that'll unlock high torque mode on this wheel, especially if you're using a DD1, DD2. With the CSL DD, you're probably not going to need it. In saying, the CSL DD I've ordered is the one with the 180 watt booster pack, so that'll give me 8 Newton meters of torque instead of the 5 Newton meters of torque that comes with a CSL DD standard. I will check for play on this, on my CSL Elite and the CSL DD when I get it. You also have an Allen key in here, and some nuts and bolts. Actually, no nuts, just bolts and washers. Actually, what else we got in here? Aha! We also have this little screw here. That screw there will go at the bottom there. You may have just seen me pull out that little plastic piece that I am now missing. Why am I missing it? It's in there. But they keep that in to keep it in the packaging. I don't know. Anyway, so sometimes some people complain that there is the movement in the shaft. So this screw can potentially fix that. When you screw that in, it'll potentially eliminate any little play that's there. You don't have to use it. This is a quick release, so you know, in out quick, especially if you're changing wheels a lot. I personally don't change wheels a lot. If you don't change wheels a lot, and this is going to be your only wheel, I'd probably actually recommend putting that in. I'm probably only going to put this in if there is play on the shaft. If there's play, it's going in. So this says, remove with care, read quick start guide. So as you see, at the start, I have read the quick start guide. Yep, I read that quickly. Ooh. And now we're going to attach this. This only goes on one way. If you can see that, that is further apart than the bottom there. So I believe the shorter one goes into the bottom. Yeah. Yep, that's it perfectly in there. Now we're going to put these screws into the quick release, probably using the washers. These screws look to have Loctite on them, so we'll put some washers over each one. So 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. So first up, I'm gonna lose some washers. Come on, Oh, it's gotten stuck in the magnetic paddle shifters. So first up, I'm going to put these in just by hand. Just want to screw them down as much as you can by hand. Never just going. You end up wrecking stuff. I'm going to go in a crosshatch pattern because I'm from an automotive background and that's what you do. I'm going to go from the corners. Now, if you did want the Clubsport quick release, that does change the price significantly. I can't remember how much that was. So it's actually reasonably expensive, at least in Australia. I'll put up the screen in US price and euros. I don't think most people actually do need it. I don't feel I needed it for the CSL-DD, but if you're running DD1, then yeah, you definitely get this. It does make it a more expensive wheel, but at that price, you're getting magnetic paddle shifters and some clutch paddles and a pretty good wheel, from what I've heard in reviews and stuff. We don't need to do these too tightly. Yeah, I think we're pretty much good now. I'm not putting much force on this. You don't need to. I mean, as you saw, it's got the Loctite on there. It's not going to come out. So there we have it. Our McLaren GT3 wheel with the metal quick release. You'll see all the newer wheels, the quick release bolts on from the outside. All the older wheels, it bolts on from the inside, like this. You might be able to see the bolts come out from the inside. So wheels like this will not be upgradable to the new QR2 system, but I think Fanatec is still going to support QR1 for quite a while, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. In fact, I've just bought actually an older gen universal Clubsport hub for Xbox One that is on its way as well, and that's older gen without the newer QR1 from the outside. So I'm not too fussed. I'm going to just run with QR1. If I need to upgrade to QR2 later, I will. Not fussed currently. So now that I've got this all set up, let's whack this on the sim. And I think the first thing I need to do is update the firmware on this wheel. I know that there are new firmware versions. My wheelbase is on the newest 410 and all my normal software, so I will check out if this got any play. Right, one thing I thought I might show you as well quickly before I put them on, the difference between a Formula and even the Formula V2 and V2.5 with a few extra buttons and dials and all that is about the same size as this. Actually, it is the same size as this. This is 270mm from memory. The McLaren GT3 is 300. So it's actually a slightly bigger wheel, which is probably a little bit better to controlling GT3s and things like that. Whereas this is a little bit better for Formula. I don't know if that's showing up on camera. But in terms of weight, I actually feel about the same. When you've got the metal Clubsport adapter on there anyway. I'm sure this will be a little bit lighter if it had the QR1 light on it, the glass infused quick release. But this is about the same, in my opinion. All right, our Fanatec Firmware Manager. As you can see, my CSL Elite PS4 is on firmware 686, which is up to date, and the motor is on 22, which is up to date. And when I plug this in, this will probably show as not up to date. Why is that? It's a bit tougher to put on, maybe. That was a bit tough. But as I've now got that on, what is that? What is that noise? Is that pressing on the steering wheel? Do you hear that? Alright, so on my CSL Elite wheelbase, I'm not feeling any play there. I just wanted to pull that off to make sure everything was okay. I don't get why that was clicking. Let's give it another shot. Okay, it's not clicking that time. So I don't know what was wrong there. But I took it off and put it back on, and it's not clicking anymore. Or is it? Let's update. Right, that is now updating the firmware. We were on firmware 37. Now this should be on firmware 41. We don't need to update another wheel. We just go finished. All Fanatec devices now up to date. I want to obviously make sure, yep, shifters are working. Clutch is working on both sides. Button. Yeah, so these buttons here are a little bit harder to press. That would be on purpose, so you don't accidentally hit like your pit limiter. Up and down, working. Y, B, X, A. Right, so this knob here is for your clutch. At the moment I've got it on clutch bite point, clutch plus handbrake. So you can use one as a clutch, one as a handbrake. You can use it as brake and throttle if you wanted to. And then mappable analog axis. For me, I'm going to run clutch bite point. So all seems to be working despite the a bit funny start with the clickiness or whatever was going on there. Let's start the car. And we're away. First thing, we might as well show off the paddles. I've currently got this set to 50 here. You pull both pedals in to set it. It from factory is 100. I just put it at 50 just cause. Actually, we'll start off at 100. Right, and I'll show you. There we go. Full throttle. I let go of that and it doesn't move. Right, so let's put it down to 50. Actually, let's just go 35. We'll go the total opposite direction. I thought that was going to stall then. Let's try that again. Hey, it didn't. Interesting. The car I tested it with before did stall. Anyway, obviously it's a car by car basis. But you can set that up as you like it, as you feel. Depends how quickly you decide to pull off the second paddle. Now you can change that to handbrake or accelerator and brake if you wanted to, or a few different options. So there's clutch and brake, brake and throttle, and then mappable analog axes. Don't know if you saw that come up on the screen there. Probably not. It is a pretty small display. The first thing I kind of notice about the wheel is those paddles, the shifter, sorry, much different to my F1 Esports wheel. A little bit more forced to actually go and press them. But it feels like shorter throw and a bit more succinct of a shift, a bit more affirmative that I've pressed the, whoa, that was unexpected. But the paddles feel good, and as I said, you can shift one-handed if you wanted to. I'll do the rest of this lap one-handed, alright? Oh, hold on. Alright, rest of this, no hands, alright? Sorry, not no hands, one hand, alright? So this wheel is actually really good if you've got a disability or something, I guess, or you only have one hand, because you can literally still drive one-handed. All right, see, no hands. It's not going to be a good lap time. But I can. I mean, if I had to, I could definitely get used to this and get better at one-handed. Oh, one-handed. Oh. What time am I going to do one-handed? I'm going to do a 2-minute, which isn't fast, but it's not slow either. In saying that, I did have a terrible start to that lap, didn't I? And that was two-handed. Maybe I drove better one-handed. I did a terrible start to this lap too. I think, what have I, yeah. I've got my TC up a bit. In fact, speaking of TC, our TC and our ABS here
Both on 4 currently. But I'll pop that down to 2.
5 minutes to go. Stay focused.
I'm a bit faster on 2. Not that I'm going for pure pace at the moment. Uh-oh. Did a Nico Rosberg. Yeah, losing a lot of time now. But I'm feeling a little bit more subtle feedback, I guess you could say, through the wheel. I don't know if it's because it's a plastic wheel. Well, should I say plastic? But I'm feeling probably a little bit more force feedback. It could be because it's a little bit of a larger wheel, 300mm wheel.
This is me, your muscle person.
That's not my personal best, I promise. In fact, you've seen on this YouTube channel me go much faster in this car on this track. And I'm starting to nail this lap a little bit better. Already 0.7 up. One thing that has annoyed me about this wheel why does it feel like my TC is down too low? It's only on 3. One thing that has annoyed me about the wheel is the fact that because the shifters are on, I guess you could say, a seesaw, when I pull my upshifter down, it pulls up my downshifter. I normally keep my fingers on the shifter, and I can't really do that with this wheel because it will obstruct me shifting the gears, either up or down. So that's probably a little annoying, but it's something to get used to. I didn't do that corner too badly that time, did I? The exit was not bad. Anyway, onto the wheel. I'm liking the feel of the rubberized grips. More than the Alcantara. And yeah, I think pretty good wheel.
Session is now over.
I haven't done any hot lapping with this, but yeah, I feel that with a bit of time and a bit of practice getting used to the wheel, I could probably do good things. Maybe I could, with the pit, oh well, both these actually, that I would like them to feel a little softer, I think, these buttons, for the pit limiter and all that. A little bit. Not quite as easy as my normal buttons, but I feel like I have to press them a little bit harder than I would like, probably. Yeah. There's my quick look at the new McLaren GT3 V2 wheel. Pretty happy with it so far. Feedback seems good. The grip feels good. It's that's a reasonably thick grip. Not sticky, but keeps my hands firmly in place with this rubberized grip. So yeah, Really happy with it so far. I'll update you a little bit more later on. Value for money. It's one of the cheapest wheels, but I don't feel that it's their worst wheel, despite being pretty much the cheapest wheel. I mean, the CSL hub I think is a little bit cheaper, but then you still need to buy a wheel as well. There's the WRC wheel, which is the same price. You don't get magnetic paddle shifters with that. You don't get clutch paddles with that. In saying it, if you're doing rally, I probably wouldn't recommend the McLaren wheel. As for the quick release, the metal quick release on the shaft, definitely no play here in my CSL Elite. If anything, it's maybe a little bit tight because I'm struggling to get it on or off. But I'm not complaining. I would rather it be tight than loose. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, everybody. Hit that like button if you liked it, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next video.